I'm going to name it Bruce Lee. You know why? That's what Bruce Lee does, he does this. Hi, I'm Miltonchang of Bonsai Heirloom, and I like to do this prostrata juniper I dug up. It's sargentite, Chinese Sinensis sargentite. I dug up from the garden that I planted actually about 15 years ago. And there are a couple interesting points that I learned from looking at this tree, and I'll talk to you in a minute. And I'll do a quick one to show what the tree will look like from this to something finished. But at the same time, I want to point out that everything takes time. You just gotta continuously improve on it. But one thing you notice is that this part is dead, and you can see this part is alive. It's feeding this part, but this part is dead. And the reason for this, that's why you see some of the old juniper trees have such nice flow. All of the tree is dead except the one live vein. And this is exactly what happens. I broke off this big piece. I just tore it. And there's nothing left here that's green. And therefore, this whole piece died off because the juniper feeds in lines. So if there's nothing to feed, this entire thing dies off. That's why they have such interesting bark when you see some of the old trees. I thought this is a very interesting awareness that I just figured out, that over time I'll use this technique when I prune my juniper in the ground. I'll do that, cognizance of the fact that this will create these nice shari, I guess you call it. And then this is, of course, is gin. So with that introduction then, I will carry this tree from beginning to end, take it out of the pot. I actually already put it in somewhat better soil than what I dug out. This is my good pescadero soil, topsoil. You can see it's very clayey, but also drains really well. So the first thing you do is that you study the roots and see what you want to do. This one is very extreme in a sense. It's got this long flow. So my idea is that if I put it in a pot that's like this, the flow is kind of okay, this long flow, rather than a straight trunk base. So with that in mind, then I'll just get to work. This is actually a very nice Japanese pot, but I will later on show you it's not such a great pot, even though it looks nice. How do you tell this pot is a good pot or not? First of all, if you come close up, you can see little imperfections. When they make them this production kind, people don't go through the trouble of fine-tuning, catching all these little errors. And the shape looks nice because it's probably come out of a mold. But and in fact, it's got a seal, which means it's got the seal approval. But if I hit it, first I hold it with one finger if I can. If I hold it, which is not bad. It's got a little bit of ringing, but showing you a better one, one from Bonsai Heirloom. You can see that, kind of a longer ringing. So this is a much better pot, much better clay and firing technique, much better clay mostly. And then the firing, of course, it goes through the sequence. So I would now decided this roughly the orientation, because there's a branch coming down that looks kind of nice. And then looks like this could be the apex. So with that in mind, then I'll start clipping. And to decide what to do, I can see there's a nice angle. This branch can be coming down, and then this could be coming up, or this can be coming up. And so that's the angle, and this one can come down to hide this, to accentuate this maybe. You see, this can become a branch. And this also can be utilized. I should look at this to see what I can do with it. And it's interesting, this rooted, that apparently touched the ground and it actually rooted. But this is too drastic an angle, so I'll make this a gin for sure. And I think I'll make this the apex. And so these will go. And this one I'm really not sure what to do with, but maybe I'll do this. Wow, look at this. Whoa. It will be going down like this. Whoa, that's nice. So with that in mind, then I just start clipping. Okay, this is pretty much the design of the tree. Just take a look at this. So this branch will be coming down like this. Look at this. What a swept. I never knew this until I see it. And then this is coming out like this, and this to become the apex, and this the thing, and this coming down. I think this will be a magnificent tree. We shall see. So just a simple few branches, and with the appropriate cutting, you got a really nice tree. And this branch have no alternative but to wire it. I never said never to wire, just use it judiciously when you need to as part of your repertoire. I didn't create this curve, but I'm utilizing the existing curve, so that's a little different. A lot of the wiring is to create a curve. I'm more trying to use the wiring to get it to the location I wanted it, so that's a little different. I think I like to keep it as natural as possible. It's following this long branch. I never saw that until just now, which I'm very excited about. I'm trying to eliminate this wimpy curvature, and I have to be very careful not to break off these tender shoots. So this is quite a accentuated curve. I want to make this less of a curvature, and I would eventually because a curvature that's a curvy tend to appear to be wimpy, not forceful. And I just entered that, and then I can easily reposition these later on. But right now, just focusing on this main branch. From the design, I want it to be more of a like this, and I can tilt the angle to make it go down. And I think that's a little extreme, so I will actually cut it off right here. Use a little bit of anchor wire to keep this one down. You see, I'm very casual about this, not very professional, but does the job efficiently. So today I have transformed this juniper, Pastrana juniper I dug up from the ground maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I cut it back to shape it. The thing I want to notice in a sense of keep you informed is that there's a long branch coming out, and I broke it, and there's nothing along this line from the bottom had any green. So with that in mind, then this part of the trunk died off, and this is a nice gin, and I was trying to carve it later on. So that's why some of the old junipers are such a nice flow. The line just follows that with the rest of the bark dead, and it's in fact it's this example. And then you can see I accentuated the curves to shape it. Now, it's very unfortunate, and then I would put it back in a growing pot because I like the leaves to green out very quickly. And when you look at it, you say it's very bare. And that's what I do in the sense of subtractive to the basic design, and then provide me a canvas as it grows, I can shape it. And so this is part of my canvas, how this would become this, and I will play with it as it goes. And this is an example of a tree. This is actually one of my most favorite tree because it was chosen by my grandson, Ian, who is now at Carnegie Mellon, that's his first bonsai. We dug it out of the ground, and I put it in this bonsai pot about a year ago. And so it was equally bare when I put it in. And then you can see how full it is, and I start to work on it. And when I work on it, I will repot it. This is actually a very nice antique pot, so I'll probably keep it in the same pot. But I'll reorient it to maximize, because right now, this is more in a plane, and I will orient it to give it more three-dimensionality. But you can see the flow, the duality. Something goes out this way, something goes out that way, something go out this way, something go out that way. And that's the duality. By the way, I was thinking about the big Salcova I did a few weeks ago. And you know, it's a trunk that goes like this with a branch going like, look at how much it's grown in about 8 weeks. So be very bold when you cut off, but then the top part you should avoid cutting, so you want the top part to thicken, or for that matter, the branches too. So don't clip too often. You know what I'm gonna name the tree? I'm gonna name it Bruce Lee. You know why? That's what Bruce Lee does, you know, he does this, right? And the tree was exactly the big stump, and then the branch reached out like that. I think it's kind of fun to think about, you know, how you draw analogy to explain the design of your tree. And I'm influenced by the Asian culture because I've seen all these Asian paintings all my life. And so this, again, it's very much in my imagination of what a juniper should be. And you can see if I probably do this, make this a little bit more front accentuated, you can see it's a lot more depth. So little fine tuning you do over time, they look really nice. In the meantime, I have fun with it, naming it or whatever I want to do. So I hope you enjoy the bonsai as a hobby, and subscribe to our channel. We will notify you of any new posting. And I think I think this is a pretty nice demonstration. So I hope you like. I need the brownie points and the ego trip. So hope to see you again next week. Thank you for watching.